I don't know. Hey, we live. Welcome to the Talk 2Much podcast with Breezelton, Alan Carden.
Breezelton, Poppington. The camera on this is treated.
Yeah, it's kind of trash, but hey,
it's treated dash. So we're gonna pick up right where we left off with the flat Earth.
Yeah.
Yo, this is Talk2Much.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Hold on.
Brief delay, guys. Oh, don't worry about it.
Well, here. Let's go back to the original point. What's the thing?
Go all the way to the end.
We got that.
Click on it. Just click on it like that.
What's up?
What's going on? What's Peace Pity? There you got it. Normally, I usually just hit record and it continues back to where we left off at. You think it was from the extended rest?
I think you hit stop.
I did?
Pause. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, okay. Good now. Yeah, so back to the original spot. We back and we better. We took a brief intermission. But yeah, we were saying about the flat earth thing. Yeah, those people believe it. And they had, you know what I'm saying? The only way that you can keep verifying it is by giving out facts that make people doubt. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the problem comes in. Like,
that's been going on forever.
Yeah, I mean, if you tell somebody to do something a certain way to prove your math, right? And your math is wrong. Are they wrong for not believing you anymore?
I mean, if the answer's to right.
No, I'm saying, but like if I tell you, okay, well, I want you to believe something. I'm like, I want you to believe 2 + 2 is 4. And you're like, how do you do that? And I tell you, okay, you add 2 to another 2 and you get 4. But then you do it, n equals 5. You'd be like, wow.
Well, then you're wrong.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't believe the person anymore. And that's why people go with the whole flat earth thing. They'd be like, I personally don't believe it myself. I really don't care, to be honest, at the same time. But it's interesting to hear about, like they do in the library, because you just want to hear people's opinion and how they can do stuff.
Yeah.
Perceptions and things.
You don't want to just hear like your side of it. You want to hear all different sides.
And that's why I also hate being that guy that comes to the table without having the information. So when I come, when somebody's talking about this whole flat earth stuff, I may not agree with it, but I want to be knowledgeable on it by the time. And I like that about anything. That's why I be reading up on a lot of social stuff. And
you can't be gullible.
Like,
to somebody else's facts and take them as facts without doing proper research either.
That's 100% true. That's 100% true. It's 100% true.
You got to verify your sources.
Yeah.
You got to check everything.
Ain't no Wikipedia middle of the mall.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is like when you have astronauts too that'll be like, oh yeah, I was up there and the Earth is flat. And you're like, okay, well, I mean, you waited till you was on your deathbed. I can understand.
Yeah.
If supposedly the government doesn't want you to say something, it's like I can understand, but at the same time, can you really take it at the value that it's given?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have people right before they die. Yeah, I shot Biggie or I shot Tupac. You're like, you weren't even born then, man.
Yeah. Have you watched the documentary actually?
I'm not watching that newest one. No, man.
It's not bad.
What documentary?
Man.
It's on Netflix.
You talking about when it was acting like friends shooting each other with the water guns in the trailer?
No, it's not it.
It's like the ugly looking Tupac and Biggie people. It's unsolved.
Yeah, it's unsolved. I mean,
because in the Netflix little trailer, they shooting each other with water guns.
I didn't see the trailer. I was on Netflix at like 12 a.m., bro, and I seen it, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the one. And I watched like the first 3 episodes of it.
I do like
How long is it?
It's a couple. I don't know how many series it is, but it's a couple of shows.
Okay.
I do like the whole little Antarctic thing that people be talking about, like why we can't go to Antarctica or whatever.
Has anyone ever been to Antarctica?
Supposedly, this is a good point that someone brought up. He was like, there's a treaty that says that you can't go there. And I think at one point it was if you go there trying to, industrialize or go there, period, you would get killed. But then it was like, what I was saying, he had a good point. He's like, how long through history have we seen any treaties last? And all of a sudden, when it comes to Antarctica, everybody can agree with that. And I was like, that is a great point.
I feel like somebody has to go to Antarctica if we have it like on the map.
Nah, you can't view it though. Not even on Google Earth.
I don't know about Google Earth, but I know on like maps back in the day, I used to see Antarctica on there.
You can see it, but like you couldn't actually do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is a white spot on there.
White spot. I see more than a white spot on the map.
It was like a white line.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not. You don't actually like. You look at a regular map and you see like locations and stuff. They don't have that for Antarctica.
I'm talking about like different countries.
I'm saying like there are different sections and cities and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, because. I've seen like this like old photos, and like when you get to Antarctica, it looks like a huge ice wall that's all the way up that you got to climb. I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but if we can't go there, I'm like, that is a little suspect. Why can't we go there? Oh, because they want to preserve it for its natural resources or its natural look.
You want to know why?
Why?
White Walkers are on the other side of Antarctica, bro. That's why.
What is that, Game of Thrones?
Yup.
I'm sorry, I don't watch.
I don't know nothing about that. How many different animals and species there are on the planet that we still haven't
discovered.
Yeah.
We're discovering like new
Especially in the ocean.
species and
Yeah, like the
animals.
ocean. But I'm saying,
all
like,
the
if we
time.
haven't been in Antarctica, I'm sure there's a bunch of species out there that we don't know about.
Yeah,
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying.
That's like we're gonna find a dinosaur here one day. I promise.
Supposedly there was dinosaurs
You
in
think so?
Antarctica.
I promise we're gonna find one one day.
A real life dinosaur.
Yeah, we're gonna see a T-Rex or something one day. It's
I don't
gonna
think
pop
that.
up
I
out.
think you
of
might.
nowhere.
I think you have a better
Bro.
chance catching something in the ocean. But I feel like that's one thing I would like. I wish I had the wherewithal to actually have pursued in life, which is like deep ocean exploration.
That's
Mhm.
scary.
That is very.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more scary, space or the ocean. Honestly,
Ooh.
Well, I can't go
I
to
can't.
space.
I can't swim, so definitely the ocean.
No, I mean,
Well, I can't go
you
to
can't
space.
swim through. If you in space and you get untethered, it's over for you. You're just gonna float forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. There's nothing coming. You might get hit with an asteroid on the way out.
You better grab
Well, I
onto
mean,
it.
I probably run out of oxygen before anything.
Yeah, I mean, but that's even a way worse death.
Yeah.
You ever like
Oh,
for a
you
second?
doing that auction in
I don't know.
the
Yeah.
I think it'd be worse to drown. I mean, it'd be worse to be in space with no air than to be drowning. Because
That
yeah,
sounds
but-
like a sucky death.
Yeah.
I'm saying you gotta
Either way,
realize-
you're not breathing. Either way, you're not breathing.
yeah, but I'm saying like at the same time with water, once that water's in there, you know what I'm saying? You rather than be that's worse than to be just like, okay, look, I got water in my body. I can't breathe. That's it.
Maybe I'm
Because-
not trying to find out, to be honest.
I know. I remember one time. I remember when I have sleep apnea. I know what it's like waking up not being able to breathe. You're like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Versus being in the water, I'll be washing my hair and water be hitting me in the face. I'm like, I can't breathe. There's a difference. So I'm like, I prefer to be in the water than to be in space. Plus, it's freezing out there.
But
And you're
would you
alone.
rather-
in space.
Yes.
there-
Have you
I wonder if
you
it's
been
quiet
to
out there,
space?
bro.
You gotta
But
think
are there
You don't think it's
creatures
quiet
and
out
stuff
there?
up
It probably
there
is.
to,
No, they
like-
probably having a whole
attack
concert out there,
me?
bro.
in space.
Travis Scott.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm saying,
No,
but like,
I'm just saying, like floating around and stuff. Like if aliens exist or whatever, and they're on different planets and whatnot, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like if I'm just up floating in space, I'm not scared that something's just gonna grab me. I might fall into a black hole or something.
I think I would
but-
much rather something grab me.
Right.
You're not gonna fall into a black hole anytime soon. Trust me, that. You're not gonna
You're
fall.
gonna be in
I'm
another
not going into
universe.
space.
You're gonna be in another
Yeah,
universe.
You're not. If you go into a black hole, number one, I don't know how you was able to survive that long. 'Cause there's no near black hole. There's no near black hole to us. If you get caught in a black hole, first of all, you starving. Second off, I don't know how your oxygen lasted that long. Third, you're dead. You're gonna be in. It's a painful death. You know what I'm saying? On the way, because the gravitational pull. Then
It's gonna disintegrate your body.
yeah, but not. It's cold in space. It's cold in space though because the fact of
It's further from the sun.
Yeah.
it's not even that. Yeah, you just don't have anything to trap the heat in. So I mean, it's cold in space. If you throw water in space, it'll freeze. I think instantly. I don't recall. It's been a while and it's kind of late, so my knowledge on the stuff that I read is a little off. That being said, do you think gravity is real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, what is gravity?
It's the
Yeah.
force that keeps us planted.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because Neil deGrasse Tyson couldn't even explain that.
That's just
And I mean-
5 words.
No, but I'm saying when someone like that's easy to just say
Yeah.
what is breathing? Oh, it's when you just take some air and you breathe it back out or you push it back out. You know what I'm saying? But he
Yeah.
tried to explain how does it work. He's like, I don't know. And I think the only reason I use him is because people like to use him as the spokesman for astrophysics.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even explain what a paragraph was the other day. So I mean,
That's why people be thinking flat Earth. They think that we're going up at 70 miles an hour, which is very weird too. I'm like, well,
They said we're going up.
yeah, some people,
Like
it
the whole
depends.
Earth is.
They think
going,
that the Earth is moving up at 70 miles an hour. That's why when you jump,
you eventually you
Gonna
gonna
hit
run,
something.
you're gonna hit a plateau.
that's what I'm
You start
saying.
going
But
forever.
if the universe is infinite, then no.
But if there's
Is the universe infinite,
other
though?
like
Mhm.
planets and stuff,
But you gotta think 70 miles an hour. Okay,
It should really ain't
Or
fast.
so.
70,
know,
yeah,
They didn't say-
especially like 70 miles an hour. If you left Earth going 70 miles an hour, you
know,
probably
like-
wouldn't hit the moon for a good grip. It's
Uh-huh.
4 to 7 years, I think, to travel to Mars, and that's at they say supposedly, thousands of miles an hour. Imagine 70 miles an hour, you would die before you got there. But so I'm saying, if space is infinite,
but if Earth has been around for however long and
Well,
it's
the
been
universe
moving, and
is-
it's been flat for that long and it's been moving 70 miles per hour.
Nah, Earth
for
isn't that old, though.
That long.
Earth is what 3 billion years old. I think the
It's more
universe
than
is
that, ain't
13. No, it's like almost 4 billion.
I mean, I'm saying it's
But I'm
like
saying the
4.6 or something.
2019 years.
No, it's but I know the universe is supposed to be what 13 point something billion years
Yeah.
old. So 13
Yeah.
point billion. If I gotta go 13.7 billion miles and I'm traveling at 70 miles an hour, I might not even hit that anytime. I might never hit it. You know what I'm saying? Because if the universe is infinite expanding, so I can see that concept too. But yeah, that's why all these things come out. Let's hit some pop culture. Cardi B says drugging people. Do we even what is the problem with Cardi B? Like, what is the problem we have with that statement?
Well, I mean, she's basically like making fun of it, right? She's making it seem like it was a cool thing to do.
That's what I was about to say. What Alan says, the double standard. Because if a guy were to do that, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not even if a guy said something like that, he wouldn't be able to joke about it.
Yeah.
Nothing. Which we know about the double standards, but I mean, still, is it really as big as a deal as we're making it out to be?
What she
in the
said?
past and she apologized. Yeah.
I mean, like I don't really look at it any differently, but at the same, it's like it ain't cool, but it is
cool.
what it is. I mean, I don't really think about Cardi B that much, anyways. But
I mean, I think that you got to give people the chance to grow. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them a chance to grow. And like everybody has said something stupid at some point in their life. And I remember when I was younger, I used to have like a low sense of a filter. So like I would say jokes, not realizing the surroundings that I was in. Like one time I cracked a fat joke and I'm around a bunch of fat people and I'm like, dang, these people weigh more than the person who I'm cracking this joke on. So imagine how they feel despite it being a joke. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just don't have any filter or you just say something not thinking about how it could be taken and you mess up.
Yeah.
So I take it, you got to get the opportunity to grow. Now, I still think what she said was wrong, especially with the tranny thing. She was saying that you introduced a tranny into it. I thought that was, that's even way worse because, there's so many different stigmas that, like the whole still beat it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only comeback that guys usually can come with. If a girl go around telling you, oh, yeah, well, you're small, you this, you that. It kind of is. It hits your reputation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Self-esteem too.
I don't say self-esteem because I know what's up. You know what I'm saying? I know what's up.
For some people,
you gotta do the belly button trick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I got.
Do you want to tell the audience what the belly button trick is?
I would love to, but we keep it PG-13. It'd be crazy the way that you can really get me with the belly button trick. You'd be like, well, look, you got a short torso, and I'm be like, well, I'm saying like, well, I guess you got a point there, but nah, yeah, you gotta. The belly button trick is, it's a form of measurement based on your body. You know what I'm saying? Using your body as a ruler. How far up? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're going to leave it there.
Yeah. So, Joel, you had some topics that you wanted to want us to talk about?
I really don't remember, but
you can just pull it up right now. I mean, you ain't heard nobody.
I just know, just about the way we treat each other. Like the way people
as humans,
as humans.
Or like for example,
Homo sapiens.
Yes, humans are negative by nature.
Are they?
Not me.
Hold on. Let me explain further. They're negative by nature. Like as far as
I have a theory on that, by the way.
Okay, give me a second. As far, like you can try and be positive as much as you want, but
leather bands only.
Excuse me, guys.
I'm listening. You said you can be positive.
I don't know what that was.
Anyways, as far as customer service goes, right? I've worked in customer service my entire, I guess, career, or since I've had a job. And the reason that you want to make sure that your customers get the best experience and that everything's always done properly is because it's, even if you go above and beyond, that experience is less likely to be told to somebody else. Like if I treat you really, really well, everything's fantastic, you're gonna remember that for yourself to come back. But you're not gonna go tell everybody like, oh yeah, that's the best place ever. But say something bad happens there, right? Soon as somebody brings that up, oh yeah, no, that's the worst place ever. This person did that, blah blah blah.
They're gonna put a review up on websites.
Just everything,
and stuff.
Negative news travels faster than positive news does. And so like at one point, I think last semester I was writing a paper on the U.S. and the American dream. And so I'm like looking up stuff and I'm trying to figure out, like, it was like, do we believe in the American dream, this, that, and another. And like, I'm trying to find positive things on America because America is not a bad place. Do we have crappy stuff going on? Yes. But I mean, it's like freedom wise, we have a lot more freedom than a lot of other places in the world. So I'm not going to take that for granted. And I feel like a lot of people do just because like, yeah, we need to do better as a whole society, but there's like, you can't just keep back. Like, I'm not like, there's a lot worse things going on in the world. We don't have a dictatorship. We don't, like
I see
We
what you're
have
saying.
a lot more stuff than what people, but everybody just wants to talk about everything bad that's going on.
Mhm.
I swear, if you look up anything, all the news that you're gonna see, if you look up news, you're just gonna see everything negative. That's what people want to see. People want to see everything that's wrong in the world. People want to see, but they don't want to see what's good, or because I don't know why. What's up with that? Like, why is that what everybody goes for? As soon as you see something like that, you're like, oh, did you hear that? But it's never anything positive. Not never,
You
but
explained
it's
it.
rarely.
So humans are negative by nature.
That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, like I don't know what attracts us to negativity, but I do know the negativity is what gains the views. It's what makes the money. Like there was this news station that just does like murder and crimes all the time, and they were like the #1 news station. And then like somebody came and said, "Hey, you need to start doing more positive stories on the news." So they did more positive stories. They dropped to like
Nobody,
3rd or 4th news station because everybody stopped watching.
everybody wants to know what's going wrong. But they don't want to know what's going wrong in order to fix anything. They just want to know what's going wrong to either join in on it or like it's just like I don't understand it. It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of people enjoy bad news stories over good news stories.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate.
I prefer to hear the good news stories.
See, I mean, that's why I say like as human nature, like I mean in general, but I can't say. I don't know. It's hard because I feel like if we all sit here and are like, oh, I like positive stuff, then but at the same time, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but
Like I'm saying, I'm trying like if I put myself in that position and think about like if I go to a restaurant and I have a good experience, am I gonna if somebody asks me about it, yeah, but otherwise, am I gonna go just say, oh yeah, this is the best place ever, or I do that about where I work? Because I really do think we have good food. We make everything from scratch. Shout out to Boom Boss. Also brand ambassador.
not playing.
No, I really am.
You're gonna get copyrighted, bro.
Yeah.
No,
As long as you're talking over, we'll be
they're gonna take this off the air, bro. Whole
YouTube
account
don't
gonna be gone.
Yeah, but
YouTube don't
you gotta tell them. It's a cover for SoundCloud though, so I'll be all right.
Anyways, yeah. So I just and then like what is something?
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, you're cool.
I agree with you, but I also think you should have balance between the two. Like you can't be completely oblivious to all the positive stories, but you can't be completely oblivious to the bad stories. You got to have that balance because there's good people in the world, there's bad people in the world. So that's gonna have to teach you. You know what I'm saying?
We all like
to be good, but to also watch your back when you're out. Like, would you, if you were in Chicago at midnight on a weekend, would you be? I'm sorry. If you were in Chicago, if you were completely oblivious to bad news, would you go to Chicago at night? Like in Inglewood, wherever it is.
Yeah, you pull it a little bit away from.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think you gotta find a balance enough to where you can
double.
educate yourself, but you can also be cautious.
But I think it's hard
Is it too close?
in that aspect because, like I'm saying, like if I look something like it's just the way social media is, the way the media is in general, it makes it so hard to find the positive things that's going on. And I don't think that it should be that hard. So it's hard to have that balance when all you're seeing is just straight negativity or everything that's going on.
You know, I think you need the negative.
Because me and my coworker were actually talking about that today.
But where's the positive at?
How people always, they see these couples on social media, oh, they're so happy on social media. You see these people traveling, you see people with all this money and stuff. But in reality, you meet these people in person, they're miserable. They're putting on a show.
You know what's funny? I ain't gonna say it in front. I always hear that, but yet a lot of the people that I met who actually live that lifestyle are pretty happy.
I mean, I kind of
bet I've met. Don't talk about the I've met.
You've met. I mean,
I'm talking. So I can only speak from my experience. Right, when I see, I could always hear that, but when I meet them, I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people.
And I be like, I be knowing people behind closed doors, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that you may post this, but you're actually pretty happier than I am. At least you got one of the other two.
But was they putting on the act for you?
But I'm saying I know some of these people like for lifetime friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. I personally know. So I'm like, I mean, you could be putting on an act, but when we communicate often, I mean, I know.
Yeah, dude, not everybody puts on an act.
And even then, I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you this, right? So if they are putting on an act, right, but they're still happier on the behind the closed doors than you are, I mean, is that a sacrifice you're really willing to take? Yeah, I take that sacrifice.
What's up?
You had something to say
Because if I'm not
when
happy,
Alan was talking a little while ago. You don't remember?
You had a theory?
My fault.
No,
I
you told
already
us
said my
that.
theory. I was gonna say when he was talking about the positive and having the balance. Is that what he was talking about? Okay. So I was thinking like I would rather have more positive than negative because if I see that negative, it just makes me feel negative.
Yeah.
Well,
So
like
I try to have it like 8 positive, 3 negative.
to an extent, like, but I mean, we need to know what's going wrong in order to fix it. But the problem is that we're just looking at it and being like, oh, this is what it is. Or people overreact to it and don't want to do anything about it except continue to spread all the negativity. Like, just keep going. Or like the way people treat each other on social media and in person. And like social media keeps everybody from being able to communicate in person. Like people come and sit down in my restaurant, or not my restaurant, but sit down. Like I try.
She own the thing.
Hold on. But like when you try and talk to me, like if I ask you what you want to drink and you can't even speak, like you don't like, it's just like what,
that's
like,
annoying.
but it's
Yeah.
because you're not used to communicating with people because everybody's stuck in their phones. Everybody, I'm not gonna say. Sometimes it bothers, like my dad. He'll say that I'm part of the generation. I mean, yeah, I'm like into technology, but I'd rather sit down. I'd rather go play outside. Yes, I still play outside.
Country road.
I'd rather do I'd rather hang out with people.
What do you do outside, Jules?
I cut trees.
Oh,
I do
okay.
sport,
Never
I
mind.
do whatever
Go
I
back to
want.
what you were saying.
Can I ask you a question before you go forward? Do you feel, speaking on, you said when you ask somebody for something to drink, and they can't answer, do you feel social media makes people socially awkward?
Yeah.
Because instead of them, verbally expressing their words, they're always typing it in. Do you feel social media makes people socially awkward?
Yeah, because it's so much easier to say things when you're not actually saying them.
Agree.
Like you can have the thoughts, and it's so much easier to put it out there. Or even for me, like if I write something down or I type something down, it's so much easier for me to explain how I feel about something rather than if I'm speaking to a specific person and trying to get my emotions or like explain how I feel, because then you're like worried about either how that person feels or like there's more to it. So It's just the lack of having to deal with another person's emotions or having empathy and sympathy, which I feel like we lack a lot. And I think that has to do with the technology.
So you don't think people would be socially awkward regardless of technology?
Oh man.
I mean,
because you got some older people that's socially awkward.
That are socially awkward, but I feel like it extends that, or it contributes to having more socially awkward people because.
You know what I find interesting? I find a lot of older people that say, "Oh, these young people out here texting and driving," but I see a lot of older people that be out here texting and driving on their phones.
Yeah.
A lot more than us sometimes. So, and I'm like, is it really just us or is it y'all too? I don't.
Making up for lost time of it.
Like as far as if you look at your like my, when your screen time thing pops up on your phone,
man, I'll be
like, dang, was I really on my phone that much? But it's like and the crazy thing is like I'm just like I don't talk to people. I suck at texting back. I don't like unless
When a female tell you she suck at texting back, then that means she's not into you. Yeah. That's all it comes down to.
I don't just.
What happens when a male says that?
I'm saying like I'm talking about friend wise. I'm talking about.
Actually, it seems like he's texting his mother back. He's a good gentleman. He's not good at texting. He's focusing on. He's prioritizing the females.
But no, I agree with you. I agree.
This is what I think right here, right? So I met with my pops right after the first time in 12 years, right? And he told me, he was like, "Yeah, man, as a kid growing up, he's like, you always had this sense of justice, right? So like you hated when somebody would get over on somebody else." And I was like, yeah, I can see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I haven't seen this man in 12, maybe plus, maybe more than that. Shoot, to be honest, I'm 22. Yeah, it's been a while. But that being said, he's like, you always had this feeling of people should have remorse for their bad actions, and you always wanted to be a kind-hearted person. And he said, it always scared me because those are the same people who will get ragged out extremely quick, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you got a point there, because when I was being a better person, or I tried to be a better person, the world took advantage of it. But then when I started, like, okay, well, look, you know what I'm saying? Let me show you how I could respond. Then the world was like, well, you're crazy. And I'm like, okay, so let me chill out. And then I chill out. And then it gets back to the let's take advantage of this. And then you have those people who see that you don't want to be a part of that no more, and they want to get at you in some type of way. So I think you need the negative to prepare you for the lifestyle that you live in, because there's no way that I should be like, you know what, I'm tired of doing this old thing. But the person wants to be like, well, you know what? If you're done with it, I don't want you to be done with it. And now we got problems. And you're like, wait, because of what? You know what I'm saying? You're like, what is the real issue? And then there's no real issue. It's just you don't want to be a part of a certain thing, and you try to be more kind-hearted, or at least start moving in a different direction. And because you're not equipped for the bad, sometimes you like, okay, this is too much for me to handle. So you need the bad so that you can, you know what I'm saying, adapt and get stronger to it. Because had I just been all right, let me just be kind to everybody, then people are going to take advantage of that.
And
but when they see that you start, if they take advantage and they see that, you know, your repercussions are worse than the worst kind of thing that they have to offer, then they want to take it to a different extreme. And that's when you know that person isn't equipped to handle the same stuff that they're dishing out to you.
In your situation, do you feel like you said the world tried to take advantage of you when you're trying to be a good person? Do you feel that was the circle you were hanging around, the people you were hanging around?
I think it was that, and I think it was also growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like when let's say I move here, right? Whole different environment, right? But I'm also growing, and I'm also adapting to a new other environment at the same time, opposed to what I already knew. So now, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm looking at it like this, okay? I might overreact to this circumstance because where I'm from, this might be a typical reaction, but at the same time, I'm realizing that that's a bad reaction. Mm-hmm. But this person or this circumstance here, I don't know how to handle it, so I'm going to handle it the wrong way, right? And in the circle that you might be around at the same time, they might not see the both perspectives. And I'm not just saying for me, I'm saying you might see something that someone else don't see, so that circle may not. So when you finally start saying, look, I'm tired of this and I don't want to do it no more, or I respect what you're doing, I'm going to just view it from afar and not let you drag me in and take advantage because I'm the kinder person, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when it's like, oh, there's problems with us now. It's like, nah, it's just, I don't want to do that no more. And that's what you're into. And if that's what you're into, do that over there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because like I reached out to one of my favorite battle rappers, Holland Don, and I was like, you know, because his circumstance going on and like battle rap, what we see, I was like, so I was like, how do you? Because I really wanted to know from his perspective, because on the outside looking in, it looks like me. If someone takes advantage of me, for example, I'm gonna be worried. This gonna be keeping me up for the next 4 or 5 days, and I'm gonna be in my head plotting all the ways to get them back and planning out every circumstance, how I could take this person and flip the situation on them and make them feel 10 times worse or put them in a worse position than they put me in. And I'm like, you know. So I asked him, like, yo, how do you just let it go? He's like, well, you know, he gave me some books to read. And he's like, you also got to change the surroundings that you're in.
Yep.
And I'm like, and then I watch his battles, and he's like, I don't got the killer instinct no more, like in battle rap. He's like, I don't got it no more. He's like, so if I got to do that, then I'm going to have to chill out on that. Or if I got to do this, I'm going to chill out on that. But at the same time, I'm like, you got to have your foot in so that you can prepare yourself and adapt so that you can make the wise decision. Because you don't know if you've never been through.
Yeah, that's part of growing too, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like when someone takes advantage of you, or they try to get at you, or they feel that you are behaving a certain way towards them, and you're not equipped for that, you don't know how to handle it, so you lash out the wrong way. But if you've been through smaller steps and you get to that bigger problem, and you're like, okay, boom, I got this, then you can handle it more mature. That's why, like, my reaction used to be fight, or get this person back, revenge, payback. Oh, I'm gonna set up this elaborate scheme, show them that they can't outsmart me, or you know what I'm saying. And then you think about it, you're like, okay, you know what? It's just not worth it.
Right.
And then it makes you feel better at heart. I mean, it's still a growing process because you gotta be like, I could, you know, like you know that you could do, but you're like, you know, let me just chill. I don't want to fight. I don't want to plan revenge. I don't want to get somebody back. I don't want to start crumbling them from the inside out. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna move on from it. And when you just some people that just moving on from it and not responding is a bigger issue than you actually responding.
I was about to say that.
And it's like, well, look, I mean, like, to be told, you be telling them, like, look, I don't want to do this no more. You like, that is to them is a bigger issue because it also comes off as you telling them they're not worth it, or you think you're higher, or they just thinking it as you ducking and dodging. You're like, nah, it's just I don't want to be a part of that no more. And that is, if you're not prepared for it, by the negative that you see in the world, then you'll probably be broken by it.
I agree. Sometimes no response is better than a response.
Yeah, you know, it's not. It's like I said, it's a growing pain thing that you have to go through as a child. My nose always itches. It's part of the podcast, but it's a growing thing that you got to grow up You got to destroy the old foundations that you built, and you got to mature and move forward despite any of the beliefs and the advantage that you have. My cousin Johnny always says that if you pick on somebody that you have an advantage over, you're gonna put yourself in a worse position. Because if you're going against somebody who is in the same position as you, they have less to lose. I mean, they have the same amount to lose as you. They know just as much as you. They're good. But if you're going on somebody, you picking on a little kid. Now this kid has all the room to grow up and do more damage to you when he gets older. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I think the negative in the world is needed.
Yeah. I'm not saying like be negative Nancy.
No,
all
not
the
be
time,
negative,
you
but
know
you
what I'm
need
saying?
to have some negative in your life.
Just
So
to
that,
keep you playing.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of white t-shirts and you get a stain on it. You're like, wow, y'all, now my white t-shirt collection is ruined. But you got some black t-shirts too, and that little stain is not visible, but you know it's there. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? That was a bad analogy, but it sounded pretty good. So
Your analogies, man.
I mean, I feel like if it's all positive, it just doesn't allow you to grow as much.
I think
all
personally,
be positive.
no.
You gotta go through some struggle.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the thing too. It kind of may contradict what I say. If everything was positive, 100% in life was positive, then I don't think you would need any negative. But because there is negative, you need to have some negative so that you can prepare for the negative.
I agree with you.
I feel like it's realistic. I mean, you can't think that everything's gonna be positive all the time. It's just not.
No. I'm saying, but
And
if there was, then you would never need negative. But because there is negative, you should prepare for the negative.
And I think once the
everything has
negative
an opposite,
happens, once the negative happens, it gives you an opportunity and kind of like a chance to grow. Because you experience it, and then you can go, okay, this happened because of this. This leaves room for me to grow.
Like, imagine this, right? Am I missing something?
Okay.
Continue. Imagine in the world, right? Let's put it like this. In terms of heaven, right? If you're in heaven, there's no negative.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about nothing negative. So in a society such as that, you're good all the way across. But if you're in hell, you can't prepare for it. You're all negative. There's no good. Right. So when you have the extreme of all one or all the other, but when you're on earth, you have a little bit of heaven, a little bit of hell. You have the good days, the bad days. But you're in heaven, it's all good. You don't have to worry about the negative. If you're in hell, there's no good. All you have to worry about is the negative.
But
so in those extreme situations,
preparing for that too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have those extremes. Mm-hmm. If it was all the way to an extreme, you wouldn't need it. That's what I was saying. It might contradict, but you wouldn't have to prepare for the bad if it was all good. But because that's not the world we live in.
We're running a little low on time, it looks like. But what is the next? Let's get through these next few topics real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
We spoke about, well, we can put these together. But you were talking about like how people should get either the same treatment that they gave out, or
I feel like
or worse. So you believe in the eye for an eye. Okay, hold on. Let me throw in the next one so we can just talk about it all at once. Then earlier when we were talking about positive versus negative, you brought up good versus bad people, or you do good things versus bad. But what makes something good versus bad?
What classifies it?
Yeah, because like certain things, it's not black and white.
How is a good action class, or how do you classify if an action is good or not?
How much time do we have?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I feel like it's just all based on somebody's viewpoint, isn't it?
I feel like there is a certain law. Okay. I feel like if there was a karmic balance system in the universe, it would change the world for possibly the better or the worse, right? Example, if I slap somebody for no reason, right? And they slap me, that slap that I feel might not be as effective, right? But if there was like a karmic system where that same exact level of pain that they felt, I feel on any other scale, then it would change things. So if I was drunk driving, right, and I hit somebody's kid, but I don't have any kids, I might have to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, losing a limb might be the next, or I might lose somebody special to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the same karmic system, like, okay, now I lost my arm because I'm paralyzed for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to live through you know what I'm saying? Like, it would change people's perspective and how they treat others. I feel like if you would get that same treatment back from a different system, like, you stepped on my shoes is messed up. Now you got to get messed up shoes. Like, your favorite pair is going to get messed up in return. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be, I think it would change the way everything was. But at the same time, it could also be bad because you might be on the side where you have to do the negative things in life sometimes. Like you may have to make the hard decisions. But then I feel like those are people who just have no remorse, who I feel like have to get some type of,
They got to pay the price
they got to feel some type of
to
way.
learn something.
Yeah, like until it is remorseful, until they feel that remorse, they got to go through a situation for it.
Here's what I think. I think that people don't necessarily think about how they're, like I said, like I don't know if it's because of social media age, whatever. They don't think about how they're affecting everybody else or what their decisions or what they do. And I'm not saying like you definitely need to put yourself first, but you got to be able to think about the people around you and how you're affecting everybody else, because it may not seem like, or like, go ahead.
I feel like if you worry too much about what other people think,
no. It's not about what other people think. It's about the way that you're affecting somebody else. Because, like, for instance, hold on. For instance, if you have your life to live, right, but you made plans with somebody else, yeah, it sucks. Like, you need to live your life, but if you said that you're gonna do something, stand by your word. Or like, there's like morals and stuff like that. But and then that's where the good versus bad comes in, because that doesn't make you a bad person for doing what's best for you, because in some situations that's what's best. But if this isn't detrimental to your life and you made this plan, then maybe you should, like compromise is very important, I feel. And I feel like people don't really understand that, and they just want to go with what they got going, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's right.
Compromise is something that's very big as far as relationships and really just relating to people, I guess. But I feel like it's different for each situation. I feel like if I go do something, I can't really worry about how it affects somebody else sometimes, because like, let's say I'm gonna go after somebody's job. It's not me, nothing against them personally, but I gotta go do this for me. And if you got a job, I have a job because I'm doing better and I can take your job.
Okay, all right. In that aspect, I also feel like it's different for the people who you call your friends or the people that you're supposed to look out for. If you're not doing what you got to do in order to protect the people that you say you love and you care about, and you know what I mean, like stuff like that. If you're not, you just got to do what you got to do as far as that goes, in my opinion. Like,
as far as the people around you that's like, closest to you.
Yeah, like,
okay, well,
like
yeah.
You can't, and I'm not saying you got to make your decisions based on them either, but I'm just saying if you say something, I mean, things change, right? But it's just like you gotta constantly think about, hey, this is gonna affect this person that way, which I've learned recently. Like, I can't put all the weight on myself to make sure that, I mean, not everybody's gonna be happy all the time. It's not possible. But there's certain things that you gotta really look at, and things are bigger than you at some point, and you just gotta realize that. Like, and I'm saying you, but I mean like you, as in like I tell myself this all the time. Like, no, I'm not gonna cuss.
Yeah,
things are bigger than you. I was really like, so you just gotta really take a look at the things that are going on, because you may be affecting somebody in a way that they can't handle, or things that aren't gonna be.
How do you guys feel? Do you feel your friends, so to speak, can influence you in a good way or in a bad way? And do you feel like they can?
Yeah. I don't think I can be influenced, only if I'm aware.
I feel like they can influence me in both ways. I mean, but at the same time, I know what I'm doing. You know, it's not
I think you have to have a strong mindset in order to think like that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like influence, like, okay, probably my biggest downfall is like what I'm saying right now is that, like, I mean, I got to put myself first, right? But the people I care about, they're my main priority no matter what. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at how I'm affecting them or what's best for them, because that's just how I am. I don't know why. And it may not be the best. Like, I need to learn how to balance that a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if it makes me happy to make you happy, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. But
so as far as influence goes, I can say that I am influenced in that way.
I've learned too, like, you have to make yourself happy before you can make anyone else happy.
Yeah.
And if the people around you are really your people, and they say they love and care for you like they do, then ultimately they'll be happy because you're happy.
Yeah, and they'll
That's-
understand.
And they'll understand. So that's kind of like a hard concept that I've been trying to grasp.
Is that what's kind of
over the
like
past
what
couple
you meant
months.
by the influence thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
I
you have
thought
to
you
look
meant
out
influence
for
like
you
behavior
first.
wise.
Yeah, no, I
Before
don't
you look out for other people.
Mm.
And I'm not saying to be selfish or anything like that, but at the end of the day,
No.
you got
Yeah.
you.
I think it just
100%.
depends on the person, because some people need like in like a circumstance, you helping out other people may be like she said the happiness for you, or people or you finding your own happiness. But sometimes like you might flourish and learn more from
Others.
putting others first. Like I did, I learned from putting others first. Like my siblings, putting them first taught me more.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I think because everybody's not the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I definitely don't feel like it should be a give relationship where you just give into that person and
Definitely
they're
shouldn't.
not
Definitely should not
contributing
be.
to that relationship.
Everybody, let's take a look
I
at let's
agree.
take a look at those words.
I agree.
You can't keep giving to somebody who's not giving anything back to you.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm from
I
Queens.
agree,
Alright.
I agree with you.
I'm in Queens. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? I give a
Yeah.
lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm always making people laugh. Shoot, at my own expense.
Yeah, I think
I'm a joker.
Communication.
compromise, communication, understanding
Wow,
that those are the big
Those
things.
are huge.
I was
And
gonna say
like I
big
said,
three.
Big
It's-
three, yeah.
it's-
It's-
and the problem with that, like I said, the social media age, the communicate, like
so
everything's so
serious.
much harder because of the communication and because
Yeah.
everything is,
And
you know, those
like you
type of
said,
skills
social
are lacking.
media,
So
And also, you gotta understand, it's not all gonna be smooth. There's gonna
Yeah.
be bumps in the road. There's gonna be miscommunications. There's gonna be arguments. But at the same time, as long as you come to an understanding, like, hey, I care about you, you care about me. We both want the best for each other. We just need to keep moving in the same direction and work towards the
I definitely feel that.
making the relationship better, or just keep doing what we're doing. I guess.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Well, guess what, guys? We're at 11 minutes.
Oh, she
in
has some,
and an
she has
hour.
some more topics, bro.
Oh, I thought we was on a time.
No, my bad, my bad.
I didn't know.
Let me
What you,
see.
well, I know you said that, but what was the time? Is what I was asking.
I just figured it was 11, to be honest.
Okay, I
I
didn't know.
honestly don't know what it is. It's probably 11.
Did we get like a message or something?
I'm sure they'll come in and knock on the door.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know.
Well, really. Okay, going off of that, like how we treat ourselves.
You cheat yourselves?
Treat.
Okay.
Like personally, I realized that like I sat down and I was thinking, right, and I was like, you know, I realized that I do certain things, or like most of the time we're the ones who hold ourselves back, and
I agree.
it's because sometimes you may feel like, you know, you want to do something, but then there's a part of you that, you know, because of other reasons, or because you're looking at how it's going to affect somebody else, or because all these things, you're like, you know, part of me doesn't actually want to be as successful, or part of me doesn't want to go through with this because of this. But so like you hold yourself back, or even as far as like making a self change, it doesn't have to be like something that you're going to do or go out and do. It's just like a self change. Like say you want to work on eating better, right?
Mhm.
I want to eat healthier. Part of me wants to do that because I want to be healthy. Or like summer's coming up, I want to get my summer body. I want to be healthier. You know what I mean? Like you say that, right? But then it's like, oh, I love food, or oh, I love burgers. Oh, you know, there's those, you hold yourself back by saying, like, constantly putting those thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Like the mind is a powerful thing, and when you constantly are like, oh, like when there's that little, when you're the voice in your head telling yourself, you know, oh, I can't do this, or oh, you know, I'd rather have this, or I need this. But if you just go with the other option, then you won't have that problem. You just got to be able to actually like sit down and be like, oh, this is what I'm doing to myself, which is a hard thing to do. But I feel like we're our biggest enemies.
So it's all about mind control.
Yeah, mind's a powerful thing, like you
Yeah.
said, man. It can either make or break you.
Yeah.
Make or break you.
That's why I feel like if I don't get enough sleep, it's usually a rough day.
You got
See,
Those
no,
are-
that's crazy
yeah.
because I haven't been sleeping the past couple weeks, and I just been thinking a lot. But I've been doing a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm
You don't want
on a good
those.
path.
You don't want those. You want your thoughts to be positive. You don't want
Those
them to be
negative
negative.
thoughts, man, can be detrimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
I
it-
agree with you.
Is there something else that you would
I
like us to touch on?
Negative thoughts.
Have
Man, constantly thinking of all these new accomplishments. Sometimes I wake up and feel like I ain't really accomplished.
Yeah. I always tell
Sue
people.
said-
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh,
go
no, go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it.
Are you about to say something about this topic?
No, go ahead.
So crap. So basically like people flogging or whatever on Instagram on social media.
Like
But people do
flexing.
that in real life. Yeah, people do that.
Who are you, young dog?
I was like, Flash, I ain't heard the term in a minute. Like, you flexing.
Like, all right, so today I had to go get brakes put on my car. I'm sitting in there, and some dude comes in there with his wife, and
He pull out
he's
the
like,
Benjis.
no, he's like,
Pull out the Benjis.
The Benjis.
anyways, he had it was just like, they were like, it was like a really long wait. I was supposed to be done, or I was supposed to have an appointment at 10 o'clock. I didn't leave there until 1:30, I think,
And what was you there for?
to get brakes put on my car. And
Brake
I had an
pads?
appointment, but there's no, yes,
Oh,
just front,
It's the
just
place that you
front.
didn't want to go to. 'Cause
Just
you said
front,
it's too
budget
expensive.
And I had my own brakes.
That's the same thing Alan
They
said.
didn't even have to. I had my own brakes, right? Anyways,
I could put them on.
I had it was kind of fun. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie, I
brakes,
was just
but I
real
know about
tired.
brakes. I just need
No,
to
I
know.
could have. My dad could have done it. It's just that I don't want to put more stuff on.
I'm a
him. He got
professional.
stuff
You
to
know what I'm
do.
saying? I professionally know how to
Plus,
put on
I
brakes.
don't want to wait 3 weeks to get everything fixed in my car that needs to be fixed in order for me to drive it.
Hey,
properly.
I'll tell you this much. You know
Um,
what I'm saying? It might be alternated. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Comes to me, yo, man, like, yeah, it might be the alternator. Like, yo, might be the alternator, shorty.
What were you saying about the dude that was walking?
But yeah, anyway, so it's spring break for kids or whatever. He goes, they're trying to figure out whether or not they wanted to stay or whether they wanted to go pick up another car or whatever and then drop this one off. Whatever, none of my business. I don't care. But they talking to the whole store and they're like, it's not a very big store, but we're all sitting there. And he's like, anyway, they said something about the kid. The wife was like, oh, well, the kids are at home. And he was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. You want to go there? She was like, I didn't say I was staying with them. I was just staying there at the house. I was like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, cool. He goes, and I guess because they heard that, he was like, oh, yeah, they're on spring break, ain't they? But that's okay because, I got cameras. So all I got to do is look at my phone. He doesn't pull his phone out or anything. He just acts like he has his phone in his hand. He goes, so I look and be like, oh, you're in trouble. Okay. And then I was like, what? I said, nobody cares about you and your fake cameras in your house. Like,
I know if you got Comcast, they offer you some cameras.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like because
It's crazy.
it just seemed like how like as soon as because it sounds like they're leaving their kids home alone, like they don't want to be there, it's whatever. Cool, nobody cares. That's your business. Not that I don't care if kids are being neglected, but they're probably not that young and they're probably old enough to be home alone.
I say it's the alternator.
And but anyways, it was just like when people purposely do that or like throw things, say things like I don't care. I know like nobody cares. Nobody asked to hear that. But like just people who constantly want to put on a show for everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the times it comes from people that really never had nothing too. So when they get something,
they want everybody to see it.
They want everybody to see it. They don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying too. But a lot of it too, on the other end, you've been raised like that all your life, so you still want people to show. People know you have money. People know you have security cameras in your house that watch your kids whenever they want to.
Yeah.
Type stuff. So, but I agree. Like people with brand new iPhone X's and brand new cars,
and then what?
The AirPods and stuff like that. Like, bro, like all right, you get it.
It's the Apple Card now, and that's new flex.
But it's like,
the little card.
But then it's like. What bothers, like, cool, you go get the AirPods, whatever. But then, they got the little fake ones at Walmart and Dollar General and all that. And that's fine. I'm not saying that you don't need headphones. But if you want to sit there and act like that's what it is, I feel like, not that that's a problem because I really don't care what you're doing with your life. It's just like, why is that? Like, why do we care so much about what other people think of us? Like,
things. That's like the fake Yeezys when everybody would get fake Yeezys.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But okay, then sometimes I actually like sit down and talk to people, not talk to people about it, but like, they're like, why would I spend this amount of money? I like the style of this shoe, so I want something that's similar to it. So they're going to get something that they can afford because they like the style of it. But then there's the people who actually buy fake Yeezys and want to pass it off as a real Yeezy. Right. But then there's some people who really like, like it sucks when people are clowning on people who have fake Yeezys, but they know they're fake Yeezys. They know they're not Yeezys. They just like the style of it. They think it looks cute. They want it, so they buy what's affordable. So they're getting clowned on for doing what they want.
That's one thing I don't condone at all.
then there's the people who, I mean, if you are actually trying to pull something off and act like it's more than what it is, then I see that. I feel like there's a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I care, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's where the problem lies.
You know what that makes me think of? Makes me think of what I read in my communication studies book. We are we're more individualistic, whereas some other countries or
Cultures.
they're
Hey,
more
what class is
collectivist. That's some communication
Small group
studies class.
communication.
No, I've had that before though. This one is communication theory, but we're more individualistic. We're more about what we can bring to some or what we can do for ourselves, how we look. Whereas in other countries or cultures, it's more about what they do as groups. They don't care about what you can do or what you want. It's more about what group you're with or who you hang around.
Yeah.
So I think it just has more to do with like the culture around in the U.S. It's more individualistic.
Yeah, American culture is way different than European culture, Japanese culture, Chinese culture. Any other culture is way different. So.
Yeah, I feel like we're just all about money and
It's all
materialistic
about
stuff.
it's all about making it. And
Fake it till you
that's
make
what we
it,
were.
man.
That's what we were built on.
Yeah, you can't.
So it's hard to break away from that, and it's not. And I don't personally think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing to be able to, be like, hey, this is what I want to do, and actually be able to go out and do it. Because in other, countries and stuff like that, you're prohibited from doing that. Like you get told what to do, or this is like you can't be anything more than, or if I say like what, if I say you're a doctor, you gotta go be a doctor, or if I say that you're, what I'm saying, like you can't be anything more than a mom, or you can't have this amount of kids and stuff like that. Like that, like we have that freedom to make that choice, which I feel is cool. But I feel like we can do more with oh gosh.
Did you lose your train of thought?
No, we can do more than like, because we're so about ourselves. I feel like we should do more to contribute to the rest of the world. But I feel like I play a role in that because not that I don't care what's going on in the rest of the world, but I don't sit and try and figure out what's going on with the rest of the world. Like if I hear something about it, oh cool. But also I don't believe a lot of stuff that I hear. So, and then if I don't take the time to actually go research, or I don't take that time out to actually figure out what's going on, then there's a problem. Like I'm a part of the problem, and I see that. And it's not that I don't necessarily care about these people, but it's just like sometimes you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like,
listen, nothing you can do about it. So it's like,
why even try?
Yeah.
But with that being said, what do you guys think that you can do in order to make the world a better place? Like individually, as just you, like what can you do to improve?
Like
something
starting tomorrow, like for instance, like what would
like
I do?
What would you do if he was God?
Well, I just basically try to do what I do every day. It would just treat everybody the best way that I can. I try to recycle, keep the environment safe and clean. I need to do a better job of that, but try to do those things. I try to say please and thank you.
I agree. Just be genuine. Take care of your surroundings. Take care of your planet. That's a big thing.
Man, I got capped and planet.
So I mean, just be overall good person, overall genuine person.
What is a good person?
I mean, a good person is someone that if someone does you wrong or someone harms you, you're mature enough not to backlash or retaliate.
Let me tell you this much.
Big enough to say, okay, I see you did this to me. I don't know why you did it, but okay.
I know there's
leave this situation alone.
No, that's mature and all, but what if there was a purge?
I mean, if there's a purge, I'm saying the crib, bro.
Nah, I'm saying, but
ain't nothing for me to gain off of killing somebody, hurt somebody, stealing something.
If it was a purge, somebody did me wrong.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't have to live that for the rest of my life.
Ain't nothing to gain from it, in my opinion.
Man, no, but a lot of people in life that I come across that philosophy of some people just don't need to be here at some point, right?
And I've ran across people like that.
I mean, a lot of people.
I'm trying to stay away from them. No,
but I mean, but do it. I mean, they have to a point. Certain people don't need to be here. Like I think, like certain type of murderers and sick people, like that do like crazy stuff. Crazy obscene stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like like. I'm not gonna use any real examples, but you got people who are like repeat offenders of messing with minors. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like rapists and you know what I'm saying, people like that, they like firm beliefs that those people I feel like should at some point, like when you did your crimes, depending on the crime, right?
Yeah,
I understand, but when you're repeatedly doing this, you don't need to be here no more.
So you think you should just do automatic electric chair? Don't be in prison.
Like a death penalty? No, I'm saying it depends on like if you do something crazy the first time, right? You have your chance to reform.
Yeah, but if it's
But
repeated,
it's repetitive. Get them out of here. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of disagree with that philosophy. Coming more from like, I don't want to make it like a religion sermon or anything like that, but I feel like they're going to end up paying for it regardless.
Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, in the Bible, if you want to go at that, it says obey the law of the land.
Yeah, it does say that.
So,
but my philosophy is just they're going to pay for it regardless. So either, I mean, they can do it, you know, either they're going to get sick and die or they're going to go to hell or whatever the case may be. Like you reap what you sow, essentially.
This is my thing, right? Sometimes that's not always the case.
You sow what you reap.
Or do you sow? You got me second guessing. I think it's you reap.
No, I said if you reap what you sow what you reap.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, like some people.
Does that make sense to you? I tweeted that a while ago.
Yeah. If you believe in, if you believe in give them the flowers right you here, right? Same thing. Chop down the weeds while they're growing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at as. Like at a certain point, a repeat offender of certain things, get them up out of here. I'm not gonna sit here and wait for, because what if I'm not religious at all? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you constantly out here doing like some crazy stuff, like messing with little kids who's underage. You messing with infants and toddlers. Like I remember I saw something where this guy had sex with a little infant. Yeah, I'm like, yo, get this. You out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You out of here. You don't get a chance to reform for that. You out of here. You out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like those are some circumstances I believe. Like, yo, get them clean out.
58 terabytes of child pornography.
Get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe you could be. Well, look, that's what I'm saying. I believe you're sick, right? If you got porn that's for children, right? You're sick. If you're also recording this, get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get them out of here, because if you just have it, you're already sick in that. You know, you are just as bad, right? But it's also even worse to record. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of the making of it. That's you watching it. You could got it from anywhere. You just, I don't know, whatever the case may be. You're still sick. You might need to be got out of here immediately too. I have to, put some thought into that. But to be the person filming the child pornography and all that stuff, get out of here. You're done. You're gone.
Would you entertain the idea of therapy to help him get off of his horrible ways?
The person who was watching it?
The person that's recording it?
Nah.
Person that's watching it?
The person that's watching it is a little, like I said, you're just as bad, but you're a little less innocent. Like I said, I got to put more thought into it. I don't know, because I'm looking at it as you're just watching it.
Because where did this all come from? It had to come from somewhere. So
that's what I'm saying. But but if you're videotaping firsthand the pain of this being caused to somebody, you don't need to be in no more. Because even if you're reformed, you aided in too much pain for people.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
I don't believe any of the people, like, for example, like you have, I remember speaking to a person who said that their relatives was in the Holocaust, right? They're saying like some of the times that the horrible things that they had to go through, and how some of the the officials there had like done crazy obscene things. Get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a chance to say I'm reformed. No, you already caused way too much damage. And like I said, it's up to the person to make that choice. But like, if a general consensus is like, yo, you've recorded 40 children in this child pornography, and you putting it out, and you still making a living off of this, and you have other means, but you chose this, you out of here. You don't get the chance, because you didn't give them the chance to get out of this.
So no therapy, just automatic. You're out of here.
Yep.
Strike out.
Yep.
Do you don't even want to help this person?
Now you did too much damage. Now how am I gonna help? How am I gonna help these 40 kids that you just ruined?
Okay, what about the first time? Would you try to help?
First time, like I said, it depends on the circumstance. Like I said, I still gotta put some more thought into it. But like I said, you a repeating offender this? You gotta go. Like first time, like I don't know. Like I said, I gotta put more thought into it. There's certain circumstances where you put yourself in like the worst and worst of situations. You know what I'm saying?
Because sometimes I wonder if jail and prison is really the right answer. Sometimes, because you gotta kind of get to the root of the problem. Where this all started?
If the person is verified to have some sick tendencies, like their mom, or they got this from prior traumatic experiences, that's a different story. But if you just literally clear same mind, like, you know what? I'm about to go ahead and record some kids, you know what I'm saying, having sex with extremely older men, you gone.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance. You don't get no chance. But if you was in an abusive where your mom was doing this to you as a kid, and you know what I'm saying, this is not even that, but you know what I'm saying, it was just whatever circumstances may have been, and you went through some deep traumatic and you know those type of experiences, that's a different story, I guess. But if I see a regular person every day, they ain't got you know what I'm saying, just regular life, nothing like that. They taught right from wrong. You had no traumatic experience in that sense, and you said, you know what? I think I want to do this. Yo, you're gone. Boom. Gone out of here.
It is now
11 o'clock. We at 1:30 in.
Any final thoughts?
Lil Mag.
Smack. Alan.
All right.
That's a tough way to end the podcast.
Right. I just hate to end it that way.
All right, boom. I'm about to end it with a freestyle. Y'all ready? Somebody give me a beat. Somebody.
Please no. Please.
Somebody give me a beat.
Please no. Please no. Please no.
Please no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? Said no. You know what I'm saying?
First time we went live on YouTube.
First time we went live, about to end the podcast. Now we about to get up out of here because I'm tired now. Tired. We got no views.
Yeah, somewhere.
We got as much views as a blind man. All right.
Talk Too Much podcast.
And we out. I heard the echo. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, I heard Jewel echo earlier.